Ding 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 da ding ding da ding 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 da ding ding da ding 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 da ding ding da ding ding ding.
Bubble time.
I am Teresa Tomey.
And I am Patrick Ziegler.
And we are
Bubble Entertainment.
And this is
Bubble Time.
What is with your face?
I don't know. I'm giddy. I'm being giddy.
Because we're going to be talking Lucille Ball today.
I know. With a good friend, too, so that makes me happy.
I was going to say, well, long-standing friend, so you are just going to be a kid in a candy shop today. I was actually in the green room while they were chatting in the green room. I was like, I wonder how much I'll contribute to this conversation today.
You will. I gave you
questions. But I was going to ask those anyway, so there wasn't anything that surprised me in there.
I don't have to worry about that. And you've been around this group.
I have. I've met your Lucie friends, and they are lovely people. So,
right.
And this guy helped me get to the TV Land Awards.
That's right.
Yeah. So we love Michael for lots of reasons. But I'm going to read you his bio right now. Most number one fans are self-proclaimed. That's true. But in Michael Stern's case, no. The title was awarded to the most marvelous Lucille Ball herself. Michael spent his teen years at every studio in Hollywood by attending the filmings of such iconic shows as Chico and the Man, where he
love that.
Oh their mascot. I think that's
one of the best theme songs.
Chico. I know you love Chico and the Man. Welcome Back, Kotter, Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, Hollywood Squares, the Mary Tyler Moore Show, which is amazing because if you see this guy, you're like, oh, dude, he's great. Yeah. Where he became friends with Betty White. We love Betty.
Hey, Betty.
Show. We love Carol, whom he remains extremely close with to this very day. And here's Lucie, where he, of course, became good friends with Lucille Ball. From that friendship, he has written his memoir, I Had a Ball, My Friendship with Lucille Ball. And is the only Lucie book to be authorized by both her children, Lucie and Arnaz and Desi Arnaz Jr. He also shares his backstage stories about other celebrities, including Florence Henderson, who wrote the foreword to his current edition of I Had a Ball. And we're going to give you information on how to purchase that book because
people have already been asking.
Because people have been asking, because we know you're excited about it, and there is a big movie premiering, just premiered, and we're going to be talking to him about that. In addition to this, he's done some other really fascinating things, and he is definitely a man about Hollywood, and so we are excited to have him with us here today. Michael Stern, welcome.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't put it down.
Me neither.
Well, it's such a good book. Teresa, where's your book?
It really is. Kindle? She's got it on Kindle.
Oh, okay. Well, hi there, everyone.
And on page 11, I'm referenced as others.
Yes.
Others. Yeah, you're the other.
When we were in the green room, Michael said, Patrick, you get a shout out in this. And he said, what, on page 11? He says, I think. And
and the rest.
And the rest.
And the rest. It's okay. My sister and my brother are done by page 6. So at least you get to be till page 11. So that's pretty good.
That's great. That's great. That's good. Nice. Well, hi, Michael. Thank you for being here. It's kind of becoming a Lucie month. The person that we met with last week actually worked with Lucie Arnaz and Larry Luckenbill, and Desi came to the show, and he ended up on a chair singing Babalu at the restaurant.
Wow. That's pretty
cool.
Isn't
that fun? And then Lucie and Larry left them their baby, what was it, Teresa? Baby carrier or whatever?
Their baby seat for the back, like a car carrier,
They're missing a child. Was the child still in there?
No, they just gave them that. So they ended up, that was the carrier that they used.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay.
So
we have somebody here, Henry
De Medeiros.
De Medeiros?
That's the way I'm going to pronounce it. De Medeiros.
Hi, Henry.
Hi, Henry. Thanks for joining us. Henry's been with us before, so thank you for joining us again.
Yay.
I believe Henry's been with us before, so thank you. We know Michael, some folks are out there because we can see we've got eyeballs on, but thank you for joining us. Join the conversation. If you want to ask a question of Michael, we have some prepared, but you are always welcome to join us.
Can I call in and ask a question?
Oh, look at you, old school.
I love it. It's fun. We'll let people know where you are also right now, which is kind of interesting, but we always start out our show with this kind of question-ish, is where, when, how did you get bitten by, we say the creative bug, but in your world, it's a little bit more than just performing or anything like that. So when did you first remember going, I want to be part of that Hollywood world?
Oh, you know what? That's actually pretty easy. I used to go to TV shows as a kid. I mean, my first one I went to, believe it or not, and this is going to date me big time, I went to the Ed Sullivan Show.
Oh, wow.
But it was at the Hollywood Bowl. It was the 20th anniversary special. And so there were like 7,000 people there. And I didn't even know who Ed Sullivan or anybody was. Actually, Shirley Jones was a guest.
Oh, my God.
Minnie Pearl. The Lennon sisters, and I cannot tell you who else was there, but I remember that night being really excited. I mean, it was exciting. And then I went to the Here's Lucie show.
Was that the next one you went to?
I'm going to say yes. I do remember probably before that, we had tickets to The Dating Game.
Oh my God.
And we weren't allowed in because I was too young.
I was going to say, that's kind of a saucy show for a little Michael.
Yeah, I was too young. And I'll never forget that I got turned away. And it was very sad. So now, I mean, let's jump ahead 40 years. What I do now is I fill the audiences for the Dr. Phil show. And I make sure that no one ever gets turned away. Unless if they're like 12, because you have to be 16. But okay. I never turn anybody away. Just, I won't do it.
Mickey asked, were you 5 years old?
Actually, I was close. I was 7, I think, or 8. I was
when you went to the Hollywood Bowl. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I was young. But that everyone could have gone to Ed Sullivan.
But it wasn't. I mean, okay, now I'm going to try to date you. I guess I won't have to do. I'm like, dude, how can you be 7 years old going to the Ed Sullivan show? How long did that show run?
It went to the 70s.
Oh, yeah. Oh, then you know what? Yeah, maybe I was 10 at the most.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it. I'm like, what are you, 72? You look so
No, I'm actually going to be, believe it or not, this year I'm going to be 38.
Go, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick used to watch me as a kid.
Yes, I did, Michael. Yes.
No, I turned 60 this year. 60.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, I know, 60.
So anyway.
But
so you just mentioned Dr. Phil, and so we were going to tell people that's where you are right now.
I'm at the Dr. Phil offices right now.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about
a half hour ago?
What your seat filler, but how does that work? What is that? Oh,
I'm not a seat filler. I'm the audience producer.
Producer.
I produce the audience every single day, and I've been doing it. The show's been on for 20 seasons. This is my 17th season.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I know, and we're almost done. 17 and a half seasons already. And we feel up until the pandemic, we had about 300 people live in the studio audience every day. So one of my jobs is to make sure that we don't end up with 350 people one day or 250.
Right.
I do it. It's like a recipe. I get 300 people every day. Wow. And they come from all over the world. I mean, all over the world. This year, our audiences are a little smaller because everyone has to be vaccinated and with proof and all that. And we also have a virtual audience to look like this. And I bring in about 100 people every day, literally from all over the world.
So if Joan is sitting in Sheboygan watching right now, how does somebody get a ticket to go see the Dr. Phil?
Easy. They go to drphil.com, fill out the little questionnaire, and we'll get them on TV.
Nice.
Yeah. And a couple of weeks ago, we gave out some nice prizes for the virtual audience.
And you get a car, and you get no.
Well, it was close. It was a couple of gift cards to Amazon, and they were a couple $100.
Nice.
Some like we gave out a book today, so everyone received a free book, or yesterday.
So do you have to manage that stuff too, or do they have somebody that manages that piece of it?
I do that too.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Oh yeah. But if you come to the actual live viewing, we've been giving out really nice gifts the last couple of weeks. Everyone who's in the studio audience receives a really nice gift.
Nice.
So it's a nice little perk at this time of the year.
And share what studio lot you're on.
I'm at Paramount Studios, the former home of Desi Lou.
Nice.
Before that was RKO. And actually, I know we're going to talk about it, but Being the Ricardos, the new movie that's coming out, they actually recreated the drive-through where you come in to the studio lot that says Paramount. They made it to look like Desi Lou Studios. So they shot Dr. Phil stage as the RKO or Desi Lou. But
so because I haven't seen it.
You haven't? Let me tell you how it ends.
It's not
I know.
in Douglas, Michigan. So I'm curious, is that the only Desi Lou studio they show? Because there were a few before they were at Paramount.
No, actually there was, they showed the outside. I think they showed 2 studios.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into the movie,
yeah.
I want to just go back on your career a little bit because Patrick did mention seat filler. You have done seat filling work too.
Years ago.
Yeah, that was. I love that.
I used to work for a company, and we filled. My job was to have people sit in their right seats, and it being a seat filler, which means if Barbra Streisand happens to get up, we have somebody
sit there
on the sides to sit in her seat until she comes back. Or there's a chance that Barbra Streisand may not return. So I will then have that person sit in the seat the entire time. For instance, at the 1989 Academy Awards.
Yes, I was just going to ask you this.
I was a seat filler, and I was supposed to sit anywhere, but this redheaded woman named Lucille Ball gave me her tickets because she said, I'm not going to sit in the audience. I'm going to do my thing with Bob, then we're leaving. Bob Hope. And so I sat in her seats the entire night.
Nice.
And she does a little wave.
She does. She waves to me on the show.
It's really sweet. And that's her last appearance on television.
Her last appearance, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and you were a part of it.
I really was. And it's very sweet and something I'll never forget. You know.
So let's go back. Oh, here Kevin's got 2 questions.
Kevin has 2?
Yeah. I've read every book on Lucie, including yours. What's something we don't know about Ms. Ball? What's your opinion of Gary Morton?
Okay, well, let's do number 2 first. All right.
Yep.
My opinion of Gary Morton, there's a lot of things that have been said about him. And I think I'm the only one who actually likes the man. He was very nice to me every time. I was a young kid. Maybe I was no threat to him but you know what? He always treated me well with respect, and we always got along. Maybe it was 2 Jews that got along. I don't know. But he was never mean to me. Always let me in. And so I have nice things to say about him. You know,
I will say the same thing from Tom Watson, and I will say the same thing that I've heard from Stuart Shostak. Both speak highly of him as well, and say that he was nice. And Mary Jane said nice things about him as well. So. And
then I could give you a list of people who didn't love him, but you know what? He was great to me. You know, so I'm not going to knock him. You know.
And for the people out there that don't know, Gary Morton was Lucille Ball's second husband, and they were married for over 25 years.
Yeah, like 28 years.
Yeah.
A long time. Lucie had 2 great marriages. I mean, one didn't last, but it was over 20 years, so she really had 2. Thank you, Terry.
Yeah. So can you say anything to Kevin's other question?
What? She wasn't a funny person, but she could do funny things, as we all know.
Mm-hmm.
She was like a mom to me. She just treated me, like if I ever had a problem or whatever, she would listen to me. And then if it was something really serious, she would say, go talk to your parents. What do they have to say about it? But she always treated me like a son. I remember one time in particularly that I was walking from her front door to the street. And I mean, it was probably 100 feet, 80 feet. And I didn't have a jacket. And she was scolding me for not having a jacket. I'm going, no, I'm going right to the car. It's fine. Michael, here's a jacket. It's Desi's. Take it. So I walked out with Desi's jacket, And,
nice. Do you still have that jacket? I hope.
I got to return it. But, it was a members only jacket.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah. And but she was like a mom to me,
I want to know on this, because this is part of our questions. So you meet her on Here's Lucy.
Yes.
Is the first time you meet her. Talk a little bit about that, but I'm also so curious on how you became close with her enough to be welcomed into the home and the family. I mean, you're very close with Lucie Arnaz, and Desi is, not as present anymore as he used to be. And but I'm just so curious because then, the people out there, I was mutual friends with Frank, and Frank you threw an amazing party for him, and so you became
Frank's sister all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us how that kind of happened.
I met her on July 12th, 1973, which was the 3rd time that I actually went to the Here's Lucy filming. And then I realized Lucie's mom would go every time. So I brought my scrapbook of photos, and she said, how would you like to meet Lucie after the show? I was 12. The answer was yes. And so after the show, we went to Lucie Lane, which was backstage of the Here's Lucy set. And it was built by the prop people to look like a street instead of just a wall. There was
and this is at Universal now, right?
Universal Studios.
Okay.
Behind her soundstage 24. But I mean, it was still on stage, but there was a makeup department. It looked like a storefront of the makeup and the props and the wardrobe. And Lucie Arnaz had a dressing room, and Gail Gordon had a dressing room. So she takes me back there to her dressing room. She was standing up on the staircase, maybe 5 steps. And she looked at my scrapbook. She went through it, and finally she signed an autograph for me, and she gave me a kiss, and off I went like she would never see me again. I just happened to see her over and over again, not like a stalker at age 12 or 13, but okay, maybe I was. No, but I just happened to see her from time to time because, she's going to be at the Beverly Hilton Hotel for being at a charity event for Carol Burnett. You want to go? It's $8.50.
Wow.
I don't have $8. All right, we'll get you the $8.50. And for $8.50, it was a luncheon. It was
my gosh.
I saw the ticket. It was a luncheon at the Beverly Hilton Hotel with Carol Burnett, Mary Tyler Moore, Shirley MacLaine, Lucie, Tim Conway, Harvey Korman.
Wow.
Oh, Michael.
I could go up. Bernadette Peters. Roy Clark was walking around the hotel, by the way.
I wouldn't even function if I was that. I mean, I don't know how I would have even functioned back then. Like, my mind would have been so blown.
Oh my gosh. It was the only time I ever saw Lucie. I think the only time Lucie, Carol Burnett, and Mary Tyler Moore all together. And I was 14. I wish I had a camera. I did get all their autographs that day.
Right.
But I wish I had a camera to get all three together. And there is a group shot of them. It's like
I've seen that photo. They're holding some sort of heart.
Right.
Something.
It was for a variety club.
Is that what it was?
Right. And
so then how did you?
So I was here from time to time.
Bill. I want to let Bill know we're going to get to Bill's question too, but go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah. So I was here from time to time, and finally, she literally took me to the side and said, "Look, Michael," she knew my name. "You could be my #1 fan, but you better get a job and stay in school. Get a job, stay in school." So that's when I got a job working at the May Company. Like Macy's. Actually, we have service. We gave service then, not like Macy's. But you're not sponsored by Macy's, are you?
No.
Good. That's when we gave customer service. But she actually came to make sure that I was working.
Oh my gosh.
And then once she was there and all that, and there's some great stories, but she gave me her home phone number. She said, "Do you play backgammon?" I said, "No." She said, "You'll learn." So from that day on, I was at her house maybe 2-3 days a week. I would work or go to school, and then it's like she wanted to get a job and stay in school. But then
all of this is in the book.
Yeah.
And we're gonna come back to Lucie. I want to quick ask this question because I don't want to lose it in our stream. This comes from Bill Longwook. How hard was it to get a selfie with Barbra Streisand? I remember.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I was working a show. It was for a hurricane fundraiser. I mean, they weren't raising money to have hurricanes, but it was.
We know.
Oh, I was going to make a terrible politically incorrect joke, but
it was at Universal Studios. It was no audience or anything like that. So everybody had a talent to work with, or I had to go in and out and all that. She's sitting inside, answering phone calls, like whatever. And I talked to, what's his name? Her manager for the last 60 years. I know. And he's like 91 years old now.
Ernie something, right? Isn't it Ernie?
No, it's not Ernie.
No?
Somebody's going to write it right now. So I was talking to him.
Carl Simpson, I think.
No.
She's making up a name.
Yeah. No. It's going to kill me because I know his name. But he had something to do with the I Love Lucy 50th anniversary road trip.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was one of the backers.
That road show that toured?
Right. He has something to do with it. And I had a lot of my Lucy collection in the travel. So I talked to him for about 10-15 minutes. I knew what I was going to do. And then Barbra Streisand's assistant came by with her dog and another bag. And I said, "Oh, let me hold it for you." And so I'm holding it. Now it's the three of us. And I know I'm not going to leave this conversation. Marty Ehrlichman. That's
Kevin,
it.
of course.
Thank you, whoever knew that.
Kevin.
And he's 91. Thank you, Kevin. So now we're talking, and the telethon's only an hour. So at 6 o'clock, Marty said, "Well, let's go get Barbra." Okay. So now it's the three of us. We go get Barbra, and now it's the four of us. And the first thing she says is, "Find me a bathroom." Okay, I know where it is. So we walk over there, and it's four of us. And we're talking, and then Marty had to go. And my friends earlier said, "Michael, don't even ask. She doesn't take photos. Don't do it. Michael, don't waste your time. Just get somebody else's photo. She will not do it." Okay. So I know it's a long story.
It's good. It's interesting. Yeah.
So Marty has to go get the car or something. So now it's only that woman who I don't know, myself and Barbra Streisand. And I talk about Lucy to her. Hey, there's a video. I mean, there's an audio, which has been out in the last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's
the
talk
new podcast.
Mm-hmm. Right. Let's talk to Lucy. And I remember Lucy would do all these seminars, and people would say, "Do you know Barbra Streisand or whatever?" And she said, I knew Barbra when she first started, you know, and I'm telling this to Barbra Streisand, and she always said nice things about you and how talented you were. And finally I said, could I get a selfie with you? And she goes, oh, no, I don't do selfies. I go, you know what? I respect that. I totally get it. And then about 30 seconds later, she said to her assistant, take out your camera, the assistant's camera. Let's take some photos. And she took about 7 on her camera, and she yelled at her for one because Barbra Streisand's mouth was open. Like, so then she said, give him that one. I'm not the one with the mouth open. So she okayed it. Like, that's the picture you're going to send to Michael. I wouldn't let her assistant get into the car until she emailed it to me, because I figured once she's in that car.
Yeah.
I send it off to like 5, 6 people, friends, and 2 of them said, you are the king. Because Barbra Streisand does not take selfies. And if you look at Barbra Streisand's websites, you just don't see them too often. Very little.
What is
star karma? Yeah.
What is this? VOYFYI. Do we know what these are meaning? VOH.FYI. Don't know. Spammer. I don't know what it is.
Hi, Sophie. Are you a spammer?
I don't know what it is.
Maybe.
Voice of Hillary. I don't know.
Great story, Michael. Thanks. We're already at almost at a half an hour, and we have to go into the movie. But I love, real quick, that you did what you did with Carol Burnett for the 50th anniversary, because it was so clever that, you know, going up on stage and saying, oh yeah,
okay, this one's faster story. And I had dinner with her I had dinner with her like 3 nights before, but I was at the 50th anniversary of the Carol Burnett Show, which was like 4 years ago now. The first person to ask a question, you know how she does the Q&A. The first person was a guy named Tom Selleck, who asked a question, made it on the air. Second person was like Pat Boone, asked a question, got it on the air. And she goes, hi, Pat. Hi, you know, Tom. And then it was me. And she was about to say my name, but then she probably realized, let's pick on somebody who, like, she doesn't know, like a real Q&A. And so I said, I was at her show 40 years earlier to the day. 40 years. And I know that I was a young kid. And I said, I was trying to think of a question that no one ever asked you during the run of your show. And she said, what's that? I said, could I get a selfie? Because selfies weren't really invented.
Right.
Said, come on up. So I took a picture with her. I mean, we talked for a second on the air, and I got cut from the show.
But you did get the video.
I got the she gave me the video. And then there was the DVD that came out, and she said, oh, you'll definitely be on the DVD. No, what they did was they took a portion from like middle of the filming, that portion. So I was never on, but I have a copy of it thanks to Carol Burnett.
Well, because of Teresa Tomei, I got to be on stage with
Carol Burnett. I love that picture of you. That's
amazing.
Such a sweet picture. Yeah, that's such a sweet
picture. You could tell he was just like, oh my God. Oh my
God. Now for my 60th birthday, Carol did a cameo. It wasn't cameo, but a real happy birthday, Michael salute to me.
Yes,
nice.
So did Dr. Phil and Robin and a lot of other celebrities. Amazing. And family, but celebrities. It was so much fun.
And family.
And family. Yeah.
So Teresa, should we go into?
I think timing wise,
we have to.
The movie. Patrick probably doesn't want spoiler alerts, but I mean, you know the story. You know what the concept of the movie, right?
Are we talking about being the Ricardos?
Yeah. Because you've seen it 3 times.
Wait, the movie comes out Friday. And I've already seen it 3 times.
Yeah, very fun.
I was at the very, 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 very first screening of it.
Right, you got invited and had a group come, a specific aged group come and see it, right?
I had to lie about my age and say I was 10 years younger than I was. Yeah, I lied. For the first time ever, I now have a driver's license that says I'm 10 years younger.
Nice.
I know.
So did it has it changed much since that first screening?
They did cut out a couple little things and maybe a line here or there. And now there's music and the credits and all that.
Yeah.
But pretty much of what I saw 2 months ago is what you'll see now. Pretty much. But yeah, they tweaked it a little bit. Things that I wouldn't even remember but
well,
what's your biggest takeaway? That's
well, the first time I saw it, I personally didn't like it. The second and third time, I'm actually enjoying it because if you're a Lucie expert, a real Lucie expert, and you know everything. So Patrick, take this advice, and I told Tom Watson, told Rick Carl, I told a few other people, go there for entertainment purposes only. If you go there for entertainment, you'll love it. If you go there because this is wrong and this is wrong and that's wrong and this is wrong, you'll hate the movie. But just go there for entertainment. It's a great movie. This woman, Nicole Kidman, did a great job. I mean, she really did. I know everybody wanted Kate Blanchett, and when she dropped out, and then it became Nicole Kidman, the whole world poo-pooed her. You know, it's like, let her do her job. She's a good actress.
Yeah.
And she was. She really did a great job. Javier Bardem? Bardem. Sorry. I had cocktails with him the other night. But,
nice.
he was great, and he was so good I couldn't understand half the things he said in the movie. So I mean, he was good.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because right when it was announced about Kate Blanchett, I emailed Lucie, and I said, wow, what great. I was actually excited about that, and then she was like, this wasn't supposed to be said, that it got to the news too quick. And I just said, I hope they find somebody equally as good for Desi. And she said, yes, and let us announce it. Well, then it completely changed. So I have to admit, when she wasn't going to do it, I was a little disappointed. But from the trailers, all I can say is hearing that voice, just listening to her, I was just like, wow. So I haven't been reading reviews because I don't want to have prejudgments walking in. I started reading Tom Watson's, and you said it, and Lucie wrote fair, and I stopped reading it because I didn't want it to,
Lucie talked about it. Lucie gave it positive feedback.
Absolutely.
She didn't go into as much detail.
No.
And that's where I would. So the big stink is, one of the big stinks is this whole myth of Vivian and Bill. Right. And you said you could speak to this and right from the source's mouth a little bit.
Lucille Ball always said, and I don't know if she was saying it, well, she always said it in crowds, no, they got along. They were not palsy. I mean, they didn't go bowling every Thursday night together, but they could work together, and they did work together, and they were fine with each other. There's a scene near the end of the movie, which I won't go into, or maybe I will. No,
don't give anything away. Yeah.
No, there's a scene near the end where Vivian and William Frawley and the young Madeline Pugh, not one of the, there were like few characters. They're not in front of like a whole large group. And William Frawley was like a softer person because he wasn't like making jabs in front of like 40 people or 50 people. Then he would have gone to HR. But here it was a softer Fred or William Frawley, so I liked it. I really liked. That's the way they really were. Probably, 70 years. Nobody's alive anymore. Who was?
Yeah. Well,
Keith, but he was 5. He was 5.
Yeah. And Lucie was around some of it, and she was very young as well.
She was also young. Yeah.
And that's
and she didn't hang out. What she said, she didn't hang out on the set every day. It was really special when she went to a filming. She wasn't there every week.
I was always told that, and Mary Jane shared this a little bit, when Bill did his scene, he walked away and went and read the racing papers. And
they show that in the movie.
Oh, do they?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But
what were you going to ask, Teresa? Were you going to say something?
No. Go ahead.
J.K. Simmons.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
Oh,
he's
great.
a great actor.
He was so good. I mean, and there's like I said, there's a lot of things that I didn't love. There's going to be a documentary that's supposed to be out at the end of December, but I haven't heard any press on it. I think it's on Amazon only, Amazon Prime or whatever. I think directed by Amy Poehler, from the Ron Howard production company. A real documentary on Lucie and Desi. And they have
their love affair, right?
Right. They have like 6 hours of tape, which they probably cut it down to 2 hours. So some of us got cut again. I've been cut more times than a piece of salami, but you know.
Oh, Henry says I adored Mary Jane. She was a wonderful woman.
I only met her a dozen times. Well, probably more. I met her a lot.
Did you meet her on Here's Lucy?
No. I saw her. She was the first celebrity I saw on the Here's Lucy set. But I don't think I met her until, honestly, like 1977 at Lucy Calls the President.
Oh, really?
And I remember her standing in front of like a doorway. And that's when I first met her. So, but I was 16 then. I mean, so I was still a young kid. What?
What are you looking at?
Ooh, I love that photo.
There's Michael. I think I took that photo. I think this is from my collection.
Really?
That's Michael with Mary Jane, Doris Singleton, who played Carolyn Appleby, and Shirley Mitchell, who played Marion Strong Van Black.
I see how I could play Telly Savalas in the next movie. But there's a picture. I think I now have it in the revised book, which I highly recommend.
Yes, tell us about the revised book, because we're getting to the end.
No. Well, we could go through. We could preempt Judge Judy one time. You know, it's okay.
Definitely getting.
Yeah, something's going on. Hold on.
We've got a weird spam thing happening.
Oh no, I don't see it, but okay.
It's all good.
The pictures that can be are in color.
Okay.
So that's one nice thing about the book. Also, for instance, color.
It's such a great picture.
Yeah, I mean, it's just things are in color. I've added a couple extra stories, not a lot, but a few extra. The foreword was written by Florence Henderson, you know, Carol Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
21 days before she passed away. Just 21 days, 3 weeks to the day. And there's pictures of Carol Burnett. I do have some extra photos in there that I like to share. It's available on my website, and it's on sale right now. Hello, sale.
So how can people get it? Through your website?
If they go to theluciefan.com.
Right there.
There it is. Hello, theluciefan.com. Thank you for putting that up there.
And
I'll go ahead, Teresa.
I want to know, as we close this out, what do you think it was? I know, isn't that crazy? It goes so fast. What do you think it was that endeared Lucie to you? Like, what do you think what was the pull there? What do you think?
I don't know what she saw in me. I don't see what I see in me, but it was I never talked about I Love Lucie or Desi unless if it was brought up or it was at a Q&A or whatever, but we always talked about what was going in the world today and that part. I mean, she's the one who taught me about AIDS. I mean, just
wow.
I had a cousin that was really sick and passed away and of cancer. She goes, "Oh, was it AIDS?" And I go, "He wasn't gay." She goes, "Michael, AIDS is not a gay disease."
Really?
Well, I mean, she was telling me, I mean, I was like 23, you know, it's like she knew. She was so smart. But she just had this motherly thing with me, and we were 50 years apart in age, but we just got along. And I never knew how big of a star she was until after she passed away. I knew she was a big star, but I never realized that she was seen by everybody. Everybody knew who Lucie was, and that's sort of scary now. I mean, I can't believe how famous she was because I remember her.
Yeah.
as a real person, and she was a real person. And believe me, I then saw her on stage, and that was exciting too. But we could talk about that another time. Who's your guest next week? Let's bump your guest next week.
Henry Lamar.
No, you can't bump him. We like him.
Judy Levin says, "Hi, Michael."
Hi, Judy. You look good.
So the last time you did see her was on stage. Was that the last time you saw her at the Academy Awards, or did you see her again?
Yes and no. I was at her house a couple days later, but she was sleeping on the couch.
Oh.
Yeah, so I didn't go, Lucie, wake up. Which I should have now. But
yeah.
But yeah, at the Academy Awards. And why?
Well, I don't know. I'm glad that we did this. I'm glad that you took the time to do this, because you have such a interesting Hollywood life, and you grew up there.
I did. Is anyone listening who's in LA this can I say where I'm going to be this Saturday?
I was going to ask you to plug because it sounds fun.
Yeah, this Saturday I'm going to be at the Hollywood Museum, which is at Hollywood and Highland in Hollywood, the heart of the Max Factor building where Lucie got her hair colored, red, orange, auburn. I mean, whatever, the Lucie look. But a lot of people are going to be there to sign their books for the holidays, including, I can never pronounce his last name, George Chakiris from West Side Story, Academy Award winner.
Yeah.
Dee Wallace, who was on the E.T.'s mom and other things. Kathy Garver, who played Sissy on Family Affair.
Yeah.
Ruta
we know Kathy.
Yeah, Ruta Lee, who's been in a lot of Lucie shows. Oh my gosh, everything. Just wrote a book.
The one with Milton Berle, she was in that.
I know, that was such a good episode. But she's done so much, and it's a phenomenal book. I'll be there. Jerry Jewell from The Facts of Life, who was not on the show last night, but she was in the audience. Judy Tenuta, who's a riot, and a lot of other people. So if you're in town, just go. Hi, Mickey. Just go and to the Hollywood Museum this Saturday from 11 to 4. I'll be there, and plus you could walk around the whole museum, and that's worth the price of admission.
Wow.
Like $15, $12 for.
That's a great way to do, because some of those trade shows you don't. This autograph you don't get to. You're at a hotel or something. So
but everyone's going to be there. It's going to be such. And Anson Williams from Happy Days.
Oh, nice. Fun.
There, and I'm missing some other people, but it's going to be a fun day.
Before we go, I do want to, Henry just shared that Lucie apparently was the only celebrity to get the full episode on Entertainment Tonight for her death. I mean, you were talking about how iconic she was.
Right.
That is surely the thing we all know about her is she is an icon.
That Entertainment Tonight was such a great episode. I mean,
you were in it.
Well, it was only
That's the first time I saw you. I was
crying in Michigan.
In Kalamazoo, Michigan. Yeah.
It was such a sad
the goat.
Episode. But don't end on that way. You can
end buy your book, theluciefan.com. Check out Michael's book. I had a ball, and we had a ball.
Yeah, I love that. Isn't that a great title?
It is. It is.
It's really fun.
Well, thank you, Michael, so much.
Well, I thank you. Patrick, you look great. Teresa, you look great. Nice to see you again.
So do you.
We'll
fun.
See you next time, and say hi to Henry next time.
And Bill likes the book. Great book. Yay. Thanks, Bill.
Bye. Thank you, Bill. Bye.
All right. Good night. Bye, Michael.
Thanks to everybody who joined us. Like we said, we want to talk about this was great. Are you posting that one? Shall I post it? There, I put it up. Yep. Thank you, Henry. Thanks for joining us.
Sorry.
But the problem is Patrick and I now both have access to posting.
You're going rogue on me.
So I'll do the posting. You tell who our next guest is.
Our next guest is artist Henry Lamar. And I was going to grab some of his work and didn't. I was going to put up a
slacker. He's such a slacker.
I know, right? but he's an amazing artist, and he has got a Lucie connection as well. So this month is just becoming a Lucie celebration, if you will. Let me see if I can find
that. No, we should go because Michael's got to get on a red carpet again. So we gotta wrap it up so that man can get back into Hollywood.
So tune in, follow us on Fubble Entertainment on social media, and you'll get notices about our next guest. So as we always say,
gotta go.
Gotta go.